Hello guys, Facial Intelligence back with another video. Today we have this guy we're going to analyze. He looks like a nice young man. The first issue with his face is that he has a lot of upper eyelid exposure, which is this right here. Okay, ideally we want youthful fat right here. We want fat. I have some, not ideal. And what is awesome about actually having this flaw is that we can fix it very easily with something called facial fat grafting, where we take fat from the stomach and we can put it above your eyes on your face and correct this flaw. That's quite beautiful. Next, we see his ears are a bit flared. We have to admit, like, that actually is gesturing, right? Like, actually just riding loudly on a motorcycle. What are you achieving by doing that? It's just cringe. You'll probably just crash and die. Okay, you're gonna crash and die on a motorcycle, okay? Alright. Anyway, yeah, his ears are a little bit flared, as we can see. So you can actually get something called an autoplasty, and that will pin them back. You could do that. We see the dorsal shape here is not great, and we see that the tip is a little bit bulbous. So these are some deductions as well. And yeah, I think the biggest flaw in his face is the upper eyelid exposure with all the creasing, or I would say his eyes look to be very far from one eye apart. Wow. Yeah, his eyes are, wow. Yeah, his eyes are really far from being one eye apart. You guys can visually, I don't even need to measure that. You guys can visually see. Wow. Also, one more thing I'll note is your neck is extremely thin. Again, I don't need to measure that. It's extremely thin. So yeah, the main Looksmaxxing tips for this guy: get facial fat grafting around the eyes, pin back your ears, train your neck. Eyebrows are fine. Also rhinoplasty if you'd like to. And an overall rating for him is, 4.75. Basically average, but yeah. This is our next gentleman we'll be reviewing. Again, another similar set of issues. He has upper eyelid creasing right there and lower eyelid. So with this guy, his eyes are also kind of protruding out of the skull. We can see that. He may need actually orbital decompression or ptosis correction. Ptosis correction will kind of fix the upper eyelid. And then ideally he'd get something called infraorbital rim implants saddled with fat grafting to correct the under eye issue as well. He needs a lot of work done on the eyes, frankly. So again, not a good pair of eyes. They're buggy eyes. I'd give his eye region, like I'd rate his eyes alone like a 2.5 out of 10. Quite below average. Next we'll take a look at his mouth to nose width, which looks bad to me. 240 divided by 204. Okay. Yeah, 1.17. So his mouth is 1.17, the width of his nose. And ideally in black men, we want this at 1.3 at the low end. In attractive black men, that's what we see. So yeah, his nose, and I think the issue is the nose, because when we look at the mouth width, it actually intersects with his pupils, which shows the mouth is wide enough. But we see that the nose is almost as wide as the mouth. So we want the nose to be a bit more like this width right here. So cut this part off of the nose. We also see a bit of a droopy nasal tip. So yeah, the nose is a bit of a flaw just in size and width for black men, by the way. This is not Caucasian standards. This is black men standards, just to be clear, because some people say that. I'm using those. False. He has a very small mid-face. Now he does have higher set brows, but we can see, if we look at this measure, do this measure, it's very compact. Like his middle third is very small, and I'll show you guys an example with the actual facial thirds. His middle third is, since he has the high set eyebrows, it's not super small, but we can see this area of the face is very squished. The chin seems a bit too long in relative proportion to the philtrum. I'm not going to measure everything out. And the face also is lacking definition, has a lot of fat on the face. And I'll also say the skin texture is really bad. Lots of blackheads, kind of smaller acne, not cystic acne, but definitely not good either. Yeah, the main issues is just the buggy eye region. and the nose and the face fat and the skin texture are the main issues. This gentleman, my overall assessment on my chart would be closer to around a 4. So like a bottom 25% face is what I'd give him. Next we have this gentleman who is quite below average. Yeah, poor guy. Yeah. The main thing I see with this guy is the canthal tilt, right? So how up or down turned the eyes are. And he has quite downturned eyes. I measured it already at -5 degrees. So quite downturned eyes. This is a really big flaw. And also we see the dark under eye circles along with it. Not good. And we also see upper eyelid exposure. Again. So again, this is another eye region where if we just rank these eyes in terms of the traits that make eyes attractive, this is maybe a 3 out of 10. Okay. He doesn't have low set eyebrows. He doesn't have a broad frontal bone. His eyebrows aren't actually close set enough. They should be closer set. They should be lower set. They should have a different tilt, more flat and like this instead of curved. They're too negatively tilted. The eye should be more positively tilted. We need more under eye support for the eyes down here. We need more fat above the eyes. We need darker and denser lashes. Like he's missing out on pretty much all the components that make an attractive eye region. Aside for perhaps the eye shape is fine. Aside from that. Moving down the face, we see nasolabial folds. Again, a really big sign of aging. We see a very thin upper lip. And we see a lot of fat down here. No submental definition. His facial adiposity, his facial fat is also very high. Due to his short philtrum, we'll look at his chin to philtrum ratio. 104, 58. Yep. So his chin is 1.79 times longer than his philtrum, and we want this at 2.05 at the low end. So we can see his philtrum is too tall in proportion to the chin because this lip should more be like that. And that would fix the upper to lower lip ratio and the chin to philtrum ratio. Yeah, generally my overall score for this guy would be around a 3 out of 10, at the most 3.25 range. So he would be, you know, the worst looking out of tens of people. Probably the worst looking out of around 20 people. Okay. So yeah, guys, that's my kind of overall assessments for these 3 gentlemen from the True Rate Me subreddit. Those are kind of the main flaws we saw with each of their faces and kind of the scores I would give on my scale. And if you would like to, you can get a face rating from me. Just like this, down below in the link if you'd like to. I can give you personalized advice, your best and worst features, and help you devise a plan to improve your looks. In the link below, you can learn more if you would like to, no pressure. Or just keep watching the content. And yeah, so if you want to find out how attractive you are, no BS, find out how to improve, click that link down below. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.